Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee to the conversation this morning. Senator, good morning to you. I'll ask it straight up and down. If the president, if the Treasury Secretary reach a deal with the Speaker on a deal, would you vote for it?
What we're going to do is put our bill that we have already had on the floor back on the floor and give the Democrats the opportunity to address the issues that most people say we need to address. More PPP, plussing up unemployment, money for vaccines, testing. We're looking forward to having that on the floor, and I'm looking forward to voting for it.
So just so we're 100% clear, if in fact a deal is reached between Treasury Secretary Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker, and they come up with a deal, that is not a deal that you'll support, or it is a deal you'll support?
We don't know what kind of deal they would come up with. What we do know is that we have a bill that has been there in the Senate. It's a great, pardon me, it's a great bill. And it's about a $500 billion bill. We're repositioning $350 billion of the CARES funding. And that is the direction that we should go. It plusses up that PPP. It plusses up the unemployment. Money for vaccines, testing, liability protection is something that I hear from every Tennessee business out there that they want to see us address. So,
and I hate to keep pushing on it to try to put a fine point on this. You have both of these, you have the White House negotiating for weeks now over this, but it sounds like they don't necessarily have your buy-in. And that seems troubling, no?
It is not troubling to me. If they're going to come up with a $2 trillion bill that is going to put money on items that are not needed, directly related to COVID, then that is not a direction we should travel. When I talk to Tennesseans and Tennessee businesses, they're really quite explicit. Another round of PPP, plussing up unemployment, addressing testing, vaccines, getting people back to work, getting children back to school. This is not the time to be bailing out cities and states that have mismanaged themselves. It is not the time to be addressing marijuana sales or usage or research. This is the time to focus on getting people back to work and children back in school.
To that point, let me ask you, the White House, it has been said, has prevented about $9 billion from being spent on on testing, money that was earmarked for that. But the White House has thus far prevented that money, at least that's been the allegation, from being spent. How do you feel about that?
I have not heard that stat or figure, but I'll be happy to look into it and get back to you.
Okay, let's transition. There's so much going on that we want to get your views on, in part because you are a member of the Senate Commerce Committee, which will hold a hearing on big tech CEOs a week from today. Wanted to get your reaction to the Department of Justice case against Google.
Yes, we had all been waiting to see what DOJ was going to say about Google and how they were going to move forward. And of course, we know that the lawsuit against them centers on search. We also are getting a better look at some of these anti-competitive deals that Google has put forward with developers. And one of the things that we want to make certain as we go through this process is that we have a competitive, innovative marketplace. And if you're going to have Google transacting these deals where it is forestalling competition, this is something that, yes, we're going to look into this, the hearing that we're going to do. And by the way, we had subpoenaed these CEOs with a unanimous committee vote a couple of weeks ago, nearly 3 weeks ago. And now they have decided to come voluntarily to the committee. That's a good thing. So next week, we'll
Senator,
be able to delve into the practices on privacy, Section 230, antitrust.
Right. Well, let me ask you about that. I've read the entire complaint now, and you talk about the free market. It looks to me like this was the free market at play. Yes, they were effectively buying or paying for default privileges in terms of where their search were to appear, but it's unclear what the answer would be. If I told you that Google can't pay that money, it's not so clear that somehow Apple is going to start using Bing tomorrow as their default, unless maybe Bing is going to pay them. And so, but then you're back to square one because you have people paying for effectively shelf space, which is something that's been going on for years.
Well, what you're looking at, and you've got the chart on the screen right now with the market dominance with Google, and they are at that 94% market share. And then you have DuckDuck, Yahoo, and Bing, each with a 2% market share. And you look at how Google has moved to this dominance in the marketplace and the bundling that they have practiced, the pushing, the way they've pushed against developers, the way they've worked with people like Apple or Mozilla. And it is proper and appropriate that we delve into this. We'll begin that process with our hearing next week. We'll see what happens with Google. People really are, and I have to tell you, I think that much of this has been driven because now so much of Americans' functional day-to-day life has moved online with Zoom meetings and work from home and children doing classes online, and they're paying more attention to the data mining and the lack of privacy that is happening online, plus also the preferencing that Google does in their search model. So it's the right conversation for us to be having. It is the right type hearing for us to be doing. And this is an issue that across the political spectrum, as you can see, with our committee there at Commerce, Democrat and Republican, a unanimous vote to bring these CEOs in front of us.
Senator Blackburn, we always appreciate talking to you, and we look forward to watching that hearing and following the progress and seeing what happens next. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you.